Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Lost Coast podcast. Today, we got another special guest with us. Her name is Kim Hyatt, and she's an accountability coach, and she helps those who are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Kim, happy to have you here today. Kind of give us a little background on, what made you start to get into this coaching career and helping people, build a better life for themselves.
Well, it's kind of multiple reasons, Cory. It initially started with years ago. I had a health issue that doctors told me I was just going to have to live with because the normal prescriptions that they were giving me weren't working, was still having issues. And I got sick and tired of dealing with that. And I didn't like their attitude of you're just going to have to live with it. And so in essence, I fired them. And I found a doctor. I made a lot of phone calls, did a lot of research, and I found a doctor who, in his own terms, said he liked to partner with his patients to help them achieve their goals. And that really resonated with me. In fact, I've borrowed that line and I partner with my clients to help them achieve their goals. But anyway, working with him today, I no longer have that health issue. And at age 65, I am on 0 medications. And so I credit that a lot to the fact that I stood up to doctors to say, no, what you're telling me is not acceptable. I want to do something different. In addition, I partnered with 4 friends, and in a 4-month period of time, the 5 of us were accountable to each other to lose weight. And we would report in twice a week on how we were doing and share tips and tricks and struggles and be, a support system for each other. And in a 4-month period of time, the 5 of us lost over 200 pounds. I personally lost 42 pounds, shrank 33 inches and 4 clothing sizes. More importantly, I have maintained that weight loss now for over 14 years. That's huge. Because so many times people say I'm going on a diet, they modify their eating habits, they reach their goal, and then they go back to their old diet and they wonder why they gain the weight back. We're on a diet from the day we're born and to the day we die. It's a matter of what kind of diet are we on? Are we on a baby formula diet when we're newborn? Are we on a fast food diet when we're, in our teens and 20s? Are we on a junk food diet? It's a choice. We control the foods that we eat. And right after I did the weight loss, I had gotten remarried and relocated and did a career change and was working in the health and life insurance field. And it opened my eyes just how unhealthy our population really is. Because while I got lots of leads, the bulk of them were only insurable at 2, 3, 4, 500 times normal premiums, if they were insurable at all. And it was due to pre-existing health issues or weight issues. And all of those things increase your risk. And that's all insurance is changing, sharing the risk of what's going to happen and when it's going to happen and who's going to pay for it. And so when a friend reached out to me and invited me to take a program to become certified as a natural health professional, I jumped at the opportunity because I'd always been interested in health and wellness, had even considered studying nursing, but I went into education instead. So I did that program. I went on and did additional training as a digestive health specialist and transformational coaching methods. And I combined my own personal experiences and my background in teaching. And I use the saying, I help engage, educate, encourage, and empower my clients to make healthier choices to live a happier, healthier, vibrant life.
Well, that's great, getting out there and helping people. I couldn't agree more about, the doctor situation, going to the doctor, here, if you got this, take this pill. Here, if you got this, take this pill. I mean, it's, what are they really doing for us except for just feeding us more and more pills? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think half the time the pills don't resonate with everybody, but it seems to be that one silver bullet. Here, take this pill. It's going to be, we're fine. Come back in 6 months, right? If it doesn't work, we'll give you on another pill. It's
And oftentimes they have to give you a second prescription to take care of the side effects of the first prescription. A great example that I use is if you have a flat tire or a slow leak in a tire, do you simply buy a case of air in a can so that every time you get ready to go somewhere, you can, put a little bit of air in the tire so that you can drive? Or do you take your car to a tire specialist and have them examine the tire? Do you have a nail in it? Do you have a bent rim? Is the tread, thin? What is the cause of why your tire keeps losing air? When you fix the problem, then you don't have to keep buying the cases of air in a can and keep filling it up all the time. And that's the same type principle when you develop healthier habits. You can be healthier. Our health is influenced less than 1/3 by our genetics and over 2/3 by the choices we make and the lifestyle we live, the habits that we have, the foods that we eat. So you have huge control over your health.
yeah, yeah. It goes to show in a lot of different areas when you look at people in same age demographics on their lifestyle, how it has changed the way they're doing things today from what their lifestyle happened when they were in their early 20s, early 30s and stuff like that. Because if you're taking care of yourself better before, you're probably going to be most of the time going to be in better shape in your 60s, 70s, and so on. But if you didn't take care of yourself in your 20s and 30s, which I'm going to be honest, I failed at that myself, taking care of myself at that age. I mean, I've had 3 total knee constructions, been in working construction. It's just you kind of beat yourself up and then you pay for it later. And that's kind of the way it goes. But with somebody like you can kind of step in and kind of help us get maybe back on track to kind of get some things in order so we can still live a better life.
Right, right. It's never too late to develop healthier habits. And it is so important to have somebody to help you be accountable and to give you the pats on the back. Think about, your children or your grandchildren, or back when you were in the early elementary grades and the teacher would give you an assignment. And as the teacher would walk around the classroom looking over your shoulder, or as you would tell your kids to pick up their toys or to make their bed, when you're doing a good job, the teacher patted you on the back and told you, Cory, you're doing a good job. Or you pat your kids on the back. You did a great job in picking up your toys. I'm proud of you. You did a great job in making your bed. I'm proud of you. We need that even as adults. It doesn't apply only to, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 year olds. It applies to 20 somethings, 30 somethings, 40 somethings, 50 somethings, 60 somethings. We deserve those pats on the back and those praises and those high fives, even virtual high fives. To give a compliment to somebody is big.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So let's just say the client, you got a client. What's the kind of the beginning process when you start to meet with somebody that thinks they want to work with you? What happens there at the beginning?
Well, I initially want to talk to them and find out what their struggles are. Are they dealing with weight issues? Are they dealing with digestive issues? Are they dealing with energy issues? Do they have a hard time falling asleep? Do they have aches and discomforts? What is a typical question I ask? If I gave you a magic wand and you could wave it to change anything about your health or your body, what would you do? And let them tell me, what they would like to achieve or accomplish. And then from there, I know what direction to talk with them about, if whether it's, helping to burn more calories so that you can lose weight, or if it's to modify habits, or with the digestive health certification I have a very powerful signs and symptoms analysis that helps to identify dietary weaknesses. We all have a weakness, whether it's protein, carbs, or fats, but also in how your body uses it and how it impacts you whether it's through inflammation or your immune system or your autonomic and nervous system, or even to the extreme of your endocrine system. And so, doing the signs and symptoms analysis, can tell me a lot about what's working too fast, too slow, or out of sync within your body. I use the analogy of our automobiles today have all kinds of lights on the dashboard to tell us that a seatbelt's not fastened, or a door's not shut all the way, or it's time to have an oil change, or you're down to 2 gallons of gas, your windshield wiper fluid is low. I mean, the dashboard tells us all kinds of stuff. We don't have messages on our forehead to say, you're eating too much sugar, you're not eating enough protein, you're not getting enough exercise, you're not getting enough sleep, you're sitting too much. But if we pay attention to those things, it really does make a difference, because when we give our body what it needs, then it can do what it's capable of doing.
So basically, you're putting together a plan based on each individual's lifestyle and everything like that. You're going to detail it out. I'm sure it's a step-by-step process, but you got to hit the major pain points first and start getting into the detailed plan. So then how long does this process go then? I mean, is this a 30-day process, 60-day, 90-day, or is this a lifestyle thing where you're going to be in touch with the accountability partner like yourself for, every year or something?
Well, it really depends, because if you're wanting to lose 100 pounds, you're not going to accomplish that in 30 days. If you're wanting to get control of your blood sugar, you might improve your A1C numbers in 30 or 60 days, but whether you maintain it long term, that's something else. And so it depends on the individual person, as to how long the process continues. I've had clients for several years that they just appreciate having somebody to be able to check in with, in essence, tapping them on the shoulder. I'm saying, hey, Cory, how was your diet yesterday? Tell me about your exercise. Did you get your hike in? How's everything going? And they appreciate having that to, have somebody to touch base with. And if they're having a bad day, I can provide a set of open ears that I understand how you feel. I've had similar experiences. Here's how I dealt with that. I have faith in you that you will work through this. And that's important to somebody. Our emotional health has a huge factor on our physical health.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, everything affects our health, the emotion, our finances, our stress levels, everything is in that whole circle, and how we can control it and perceive it within ourselves is going to affect our health.
Yeah, a little bit of stress is good, can motivate us, but too much stress too long is not good for us.
Yeah.
So having somebody that you can sound off to, and that really relates to, another area that I have training and certification in, and that is, mediation and conflict resolution. And so oftentimes we have conflict with ourselves. I need to lose weight, but I don't want to do it. Well, why don't you want to do it? Well, I don't want to have to, cook my meal all the time. Well, I have some very simple, easy prep meals so that you're not having to fix a fancy meal, but you're eating healthy. Whatever your situation, I can help, walk you through. And that's another thing about me that's a little bit different than a lot of people, is I work virtually with my clients. So I can, in essence, walk at your side to help you, with your day-to-day issues. I have clients that I text daily, but that's what they want for the accountability purposes.
Okay. So you got
It's
this.
not,
you got this plan right now. You let's just say, like for me, for example, you built this plan. You got, I'm on this, and like you say, if I wanted to lose, 100 pounds, whatever, and maybe say that takes a year, maybe a year and a half, who knows, whatever it is. Is there still like a follow-up page for the maintenance program? Say you reach all your goals, how does that work? Or is it just like they reach back out to you when they start to slip again to jump back in the accountability piece?
Well, for the most part, my clients pay on a monthly basis. And so it's just an ongoing, it's like a membership at the Y.
Okay.
You could pay annually if you wanted to, but you can pay monthly. And it's just checking in, and we have a weekly call, and you know, for those that want it, the daily um, text messages, checking in to just, hey Cory, how's things going? Did you get your exercise in? Tell me about your diet. How did you make it through your stressful meeting yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You know.
I like that. I like that. A membership every month is like a gym in a box, or a gym via Zoom. It's you can help them with that. You're just not you're not the trainer in the gym. They got to be accountable to do it, and you're helping them be accountable by keeping them at touching base with them.
Right. And there are so many great exercises that you can do without having to go to the gym. Because you may have the excuse of, well, I don't have time to drive 20 minutes to the gym and then change my clothes and work out and then take a shower and then 20 minutes to drive home. I don't have that time. Well, go for a walk in your neighborhood, you know, do some wall push-ups or do some counter push-ups. When I'm waiting on the microwave, I'll do push-ups off my kitchen counter. You can step several feet back and lean forward and do some push-ups off the counter. And that's great arm and shoulder work. You can do some squats. There are little things that you can do that make a big difference. And when you take advantage of the time that you have, it adds up over time.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, so because I know that's a big excuse for a lot of people is the time frame in order to get to the gym, back home, all this kind of stuff. They don't have it.
Dealing with traffic.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I can just imagine. I can imagine all the excuses because I think I've said and used every single one of them myself. So it'd be nice to have that accountability partner there to just to kind of work you through it and say, no, this is doable. We're just going to have to adjust the plan.
Well, I know having an accountability partner for when I lost my weight was huge, because while I was tempted on a hot summer day to go get some ice cream, I knew that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow was our call-in day. And I knew eating ice cream tonight was going to impact the scales tomorrow. And so it's like, well, ice cream really sounds good, but I'll pass
Yeah.
because I don't want to have to report, either no change or an increase. And so that makes a big difference.
Yeah. So you're taking a holistic approach to this health thing, kind of watching the diet, the exercise, and all that kind of stuff. Do you recommend any of these other holistic products that are out there, like acupuncture, and for an example, stuff like that? Or those? How do you feel about those approaches?
I think holistic approaches are very valuable. They can do lots of things. A saying that I have and believe in is, when we give our body what it needs, it can do what it's supposed to do. And whether that is a better diet, more exercise, better sleep. One of the analogies I use is, we know we have to plug our cell phones in to recharge. We have to plug our body into bed so that it can recharge. When your back is out of alignment, to get an adjustment, that helps things be in the correct place so they function well. Think about getting the tires on your car aligned and how that impacts how the tires wear and lots of other things about your car. That's important. Acupuncture is important. Vitamins are important. One of the things that I have access to and share with clients, recommend to them if they are interested, is pharmaceutical quality digestive enzymes. They were created by a doctor. I have training and certification to be able to sell them. They are not able to be purchased just over the counter. You can't walk up and pick them up off the shelf because you don't know what you're buying and what it will do to your body. You need somebody to make a recommendation to you as to what kind is best for you, and whether it's to help with digesting protein better, or digesting carbohydrates better, or fats better. We all have one area that we don't digest as well as others, or whether it's to help with inflammation that you have in your body, and whether that inflammation is in your joints, or whether it's in your liver or your kidney, or your stomach. Also helps to boost your immune system. And I shake my head through this whole COVID ordeal. In my opinion, if we ate healthier diets, got the exercise that we need, got the sleep that our body needs, we would have stronger immune systems. And I believe that not as many people would have picked up COVID. I have, gotten my COVID vaccines, but I'm very grateful, and I knock on wood. I have not had COVID, and I'm thankful for that. But I credit it more so to my healthy lifestyle than anything else.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that 100%. It's our lifestyle depends upon how sensitive we are to the rest of the, however, lack of a better word, in the infectious world, that how our body's gonna take it in. Definitely, if we have a stronger immune system, we know we can fight stuff off faster. Number one, we may not even know it came into our body because it fights it off fast enough. Really, when we're sick, it's because the body is slower to react to it than it is. It's always reacting. It's just slower to react. So then we're going to have the side effect as being how we feel. And that's
right.
Telling us you need to give us some rest so I can do my job.
Right. Well, like I mentioned before, when we give our body what it needs, it can do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So, Kim, you've given us some great information today, and I think our listeners are learning a lot. I know I have. I know we're going to have another discussion after this. So, what's the best way for our listeners here to get a hold of you? Where can they find you so they can find some information and do the research on what you offer?
Well, they can reach me through LinkedIn. They can reach me through Alignable. They can reach me through Facebook. Various different social media sites.
So just look up Kim Hyatt, and they'll find you, and they can send you a request and
right. And
check you out.
It's Hyatt with an I, Hiatt.
Well, perfect. Perfect.
And
So
I'm in Indiana. So, and I work, I think I said this before, but I work virtually with my clients. So it doesn't matter if you're in Texas or California or Montana or New York City. I can still help you to set realistic goals, develop healthier habits so you can achieve the health and wellness and weight loss that you want to achieve.
No, that's great. So I recommend our listeners to reach out to you if they're looking for some help in those categories. Kim would be a great accountability coach. And if nothing else, reach out to her and get the first meeting anyway, so she can start to, give you some ideas on how to make your life better. Then you guys can work it out from there.
Definitely.
But anyways, Kim, before we close this down today, is there a particular client that you've had in the past that you can give an example that made a difference in their lifestyle, you know, the time it took and that kind of stuff.
Well, the story that I have that means the most to me means the most for two reasons. One, because it was a good friend, but two, because of the statement that a doctor made. I, for a handful of years, lived with a husband and wife couple that I was close friends with, and I served as a caregiver for them. They both had health issues and needed an extra set of hands to be able to help them do various things. And I went with both of them to their doctor's appointments. He was a type 2 diabetic turned type 1 and had a very difficult time maintaining his blood sugar. And initially it was because for dietary choices, you know, if you eat something high in carbohydrates, it's going to impact your A1C numbers. And at one of the last doctor's visits, the doctor said to him, "What are you doing to improve your A1C numbers? Because looking here at your chart over history, they have really improved." And my friend said, "It's my friend." And the doctor kind of gave the really puzzled look and kind of cocked his head a little bit and then turned and looked at me and said, "What are you doing to him?" And I said, "Well, it's not what I'm doing to him. It's what I'm helping him do. And that is, I have helped him to develop the habit to sit down and eat breakfast within 30 minutes of when his feet hit the floor of a morning. I make sure that he has a healthy lunch and a healthy dinner. I make sure that I'm a firm believer of getting 10,000 steps a day. And so I go out walking and he chooses to go walking with me. So he's increasing his exercise. And instead of falling asleep in his chair at night and staying there until 2 or 3 a.m., I am shooing him off to bed at a reasonable time so that his body can rest and repair like it should. And as I shared these things, the doctor began to nod his head yes, and the puzzled look began to fade, and a smile began to grow. And he looked at my friend and he looked at me and he said, "I'm proud of both of you because look at how the A1C numbers have improved." And he held the chart over to show the statistics of several years worth of the A1C numbers. And it was amazing to see how they had improved. And then in the last year, they were stable. And the doctor said, "Keep doing what you're doing." And to me, for a regular doctor, he was an endocrinologist, so specializing in working with people with diabetes, but he wasn't a holistic doctor. He was a general, you know, every day what we think of as a doctor. But for a doctor to say that to me was huge. And I really value, you know, his belief and acceptance in what we were doing and confirming that the choices that we were making had made a difference in my friend's health.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's a great story. I mean, that's just proof in the pudding there with and it wasn't a whole lot of work he had to do. He just had to go walking with you and just watch what he ate. And that's a different, I've never heard that before, eating breakfast the first 30 minutes when your feet hit the ground. Just for curiosity, I'm sure our listeners are thinking the same thing. What's the key factor in that? Just a curiosity.
Well, think of the word. You're eating breakfast. You're breaking the fast from your meal the night before. And you need to give your body fuel so that it can function. Because otherwise, by this point, from eating your meal at, say, 6 o'clock the night before, and no junk food snacks, but you know, you have been fasting per se, and your body has been running on stored nutrients, stored fuel, and you need to give it, you know, a little bit a boost. You need to give it some new fuel to function. It kind of like you need to plug your cell phone in to give it a jump start charge. You need to get your body, especially some proteins. Your body reproduces and replaces over 300 billion cells every single day. And if you don't eat protein, then it will steal from your muscles and your bones to replace those cells. And we wonder why we become weak and frail and why we get fragile bones. And, an older person can fall and, break a hip. It's because we're not giving our body the nutrients it needs. So protein is an important factor. But you eat 30 minutes from when your feet hit the floor because you are breaking the fast from your meal the night before.
Interesting. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I knew everybody else was going to be listening to this going, well, we talk about, everybody wants to do an 18-hour fast in between meals and get all these calories in at one time. There's so many different theories out there for weight loss or being healthy or whatever. That was just a new one. I've never heard that before. Eat 30 minutes, by the time your feet hit the ground. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's kind of my mom's philosophy. Mom's always been, eat the healthy breakfast because it's the most important meal of the day. You're getting your body going, and she was big on having protein in the breakfast too. So that's kind of, reassuring there that maybe I was thought
a lot of dietary recommendations recommend that breakfast be your largest meal of the day because you have the entire day to burn those calories off. You need a good fill up. If you're getting ready to go on a long distance trip, you stop at the gas station as you get ready to pull out of town and you don't put in $2 worth. You want to fill up the tank. And so that's a good way to remember of, making breakfast be your largest meal. But you have to do what works for you.
right.
But it is important to give your body a jump start and give it some fuel within 30 minutes of when you get up.
Interesting. Well, that's great. Well, Kim, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm sure we've all learned a lot. And like I said, me and you will be chatting more after this. So with that being said, we're going to sign off today on the Lost Coast podcast. So again, thanks, Kim, for being here. And
thank you, Cory.
We want to say goodbye to all our listeners today, and we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.